Aloha and welcome to Virgo season. So, for me, Virgo season means finally moving into my apartment a little bit. So this evening I've been arranging some things and decorating a little bit. I may have mentioned yesterday one of the reasons that I feel um, that it's hard to settle into a place is because I've had so much moving and instability in my life. Since I've been 18 years old, I've moved 60 plus times. I think I moved 12 times alone during Corona. So, uh, if we're looking at that base of the pyramid of Maslow, right, having a stable foundation, having a place that you can call home is extremely important, and I've been working toward that. I've also, in my journal this morning, there's something that I have been trying to get done for the last 2 months. And yesterday, before I went to bed, I wrote down last day deadline must be completed today, motherfucker, or something like that. Who knows? And I got it done, and it wasn't that bad to complete. It was actually pretty easy. Um, and so completing something helps me move toward my belief that I can complete something, and that completing something isn't actually hard or stressful. Those are belief systems that I've developed over the last couple of years as my willpower, as my executive function, I guess, right up in here, uh, gave way to depression, hypomania, mania, and substance abuse. So, slowly getting those skills back, extremely important. Um, what else? Oh, back to having a stable foundation. Uh, I pay rent. A lot of you probably pay rent. If you're fortunate enough to own a place, congratulations. And, I just want to ask you to look out the window and what year is it? Because for me, when I look out the window, it still looks like we live in the 1970s. And what I mean by that is infrastructure in America has greatly ceased to be restored, expanded. Um, Most people, especially men, make about the same that they made in the 70s. Um, Houses are more expensive now, 4 8 times more expensive. College 4 8 times or more expensive than it was in the 1970s. And since then, our living standard has been eroded. Our living standard has been eroded because we collectively decided to suck corporations' cocks, basically, and give them what they want. And instead of thinking and knowing that corporations are the boogeyman, corporations, the media, I'm not going down the conspiracy landslide here. I'm just saying media as a corporation and interested in making money and interested in keeping the status quo, that is, keeping most of us poor and suppressed and divided and without a voice and fearful. Notice the news. Actually, don't notice the news. Turn off the news. Only watch this channel. Please subscribe. Click below. Thanks so much. You're awesome. Help me grow this channel. So, um, we, I guess, at some point decided that a government, we the people, that our democracy doesn't really mean anything, and that how many people do you know who think that the government is the boogeyman? That the government is going to come in and ruin your life. Well, if you think that, maybe you should run for office. Maybe I should run for office. Maybe I will. Let's see what happens in a couple of years after I get my life figured out. The point being, right, that our collective democracy has been eroded. And you might not know this, but our Constitution and our laws are what grant corporations their power to exist. If a majority of Americans decided tomorrow to contact their representatives and senators and say, fuck you, I'm not going to vote for you to next term unless you change corporate charters, unless you raise taxes on corporations, unless you find a way to raise up the average American's income, maybe make a law that says shareholders can only receive a certain amount of profits, or even better yet, go out and form your own employee-owned cooperative, because as an employee-owned cooperative, you have a voice and you have a power, just like in a democracy. Wow. So you can decide collectively, because the people are still the government. They hope that the corporations and the politicians who they elect, hope that you don't realize that this is a democracy, but it still is, for maybe just a little bit longer, that we get to decide the terms of this country. So if you want your country back, figure out a way to vote for someone, run for office yourself, and make corporations the boogeyman again, because the government is supposed to protect you. I feel weird saying that, kind of, but it is. I mean, we accept that it is there to protect us in times of war. Why do we deny that it is there to protect us in times of peace? And more importantly, why am I not talking about yoga, addiction, rehabilitation, goals moving forward? Maybe because deep down inside, I've always harbored a goal of going into politics for, well, I think at first probably ego reasons and to look good on TV, but ultimately, it would be to help people. So maybe in the future I choose a political path. Who knows? What is your path in life? And I'm looking forward to a great weekend, doing yoga, getting out in the sun, having some fun with my friends, arranging my house, and posting excellent new content for all of you to subscribe and like, so that a corporation can fund my videos and I can have money to pay my rent and then ultimately buy a house. Shameless, probably, but unfortunately, that's the world that we live in, and thank you. Have a beautiful evening. Aloha. Unless you want to donate, in which case, I don't know how to do that, but if at least one person subscribes to this video, I will create a Patreon account, an OnlyFans account, and then an Only Patreon account. Then you can donate. Love you. Okay, bye.